just a simple, simplistic vaccine solution, because if we have a vaccine, a year from now there'll be another mutation. The vaccine doesn't do anything. It doesn't look at the problem.
This video was published by Mystics of India on YouTube in January 2021. Now, not everything in this video is problematic, but most of it is, and that's why it's on Vulture Watch.
Now, because of communication, we are seeing an enlarged version of the virus which is coming like a wrecking ball towards us with thorns in it.
Yes, it's very funny. Millions of people are dying, their families are bereaving, entire economies are tumbling.
They are saying every day on an average, 128 scientific papers are being published. That means actually we know nothing about it. The only way we have done some successful control of this is by controlling human behavior. We've done nothing about the virus.
Wait, 128 scientific papers per day means we know nothing about the virus.
We've done nothing about the virus. Fanciful talk about what is this vaccine is happening. Right now, we are talking about how to completely eliminate the virus, do this, do that. I don't think so, we should eliminate the virus, because what benefits it has within itself, we're yet to realize. We're only seeing that it's uprooting some lives.
So we should not eliminate the virus. We're complete idiots. We've been thinking about the virus so negatively, masks, social distancing, fancy vaccines. We should be more COVID positive. I mean, think positively about COVID. Positive energy is what I'm trying to say. Look, Jaggi can explain it better than me.
We don't know what it is hiding within its process. A large part of us is virus, bacteria, microorganisms. There is more of them than us. They are living with us, they are us in many ways. You cannot say there is something that is me and there is something that is microorganism, it's all mixed up. So without them we cannot exist, but without us they can exist.
We don't know what it's hiding in its process. Let's get something straight. There are 38 trillion bacteria in our body and about 10 times as many viruses as well. But this doesn't mean that they're all helpful. The H1N1 influenza virus, for example, killed over 100 million people with the Spanish flu. The human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV, has killed more than 36 million people. Now, you might think Dr. Deepak Chopra, a qualified physician, would now step in and correct the unqualified Jaggi Vasudev, but I think you'll be thoroughly disappointed at this.
The genetic information in our body, 99% is actually bacterial and microorganisms. 99%, maybe 95%.
You're making me feel like a virus, huh?
Well, we are, you, Sadhguru, you and I are the awakening of bacterial and virus consciousness.
So there you have it, a qualified medical doctor defining us as the awakening of bacterial and viral consciousness. And if you've read any of his work, you know he's not joking either. And he's not done. He's got plenty more to say.
So we are actually the host for the genetic diversity of the planet. If we ruin it, we ruin ourselves, because we depend on this genetic entanglement of genetic information, all life on this planet, not just human life.
Genetic entanglement. So he's actually suggesting here that we don't kill the virus because we need to host the diversity of life. But wait, before you judge, let Dr. Chopra really explain it with an example.
Smart obstetricians, when they do cesarean section, they actually take all the secretions of the mother and they put them on the baby's body. They put them in the mouth, in the nose, so that the baby can inhale these microorganisms, can smell it, can swallow it and be covered by it, because our lungs and our intestine, our entire body depends on them.
Smart obstetricians. Okay, this is what's known as a classic non sequitur. Microbiomes are a type of gut bacteria that can be beneficial to us. And so Chopra is saying that, sorry, I can't call him Dr. Chopra anymore. Chopra is saying that because viruses can have some positive effects, he's really alluding to the claim that COVID-19 may be beneficial to us as well. Just in the interest of clarification, the process that Chopra is referring to here is known as vaginal seeding. It just so happens that, statistically speaking, babies who are born through C-section are a little bit more prone to asthma, allergies, and other diseases. So the hypothesis is that this is because the baby does not come in contact with vaginal fluids during birth. And so some doctors, what they do is they swab the woman's vagina during C-section, and when the baby comes, they wipe the swab all over the baby's body and put it in the baby's mouth. The real question is there any evidence for this? So far, there's only one study that backs this claim, and even that is a very small sample size of 4 swabbed babies versus 11 unswabbed babies. But there are many articles that warn us that the benefits of vaginal seeding are not proven yet. In fact, they could cause serious harm. The American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists thoroughly oppose vaginal seeding as a practice. But as with anything health-related, please go check with your doctor. Don't Google it. And if your doctor is Deepak Chopra, go find another doctor.
Right now, they are recognizing that in urban cities, 30% of the microbiome has disappeared. And it is disappearing, and this is directly linked to chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, strokes, indirectly to cancer, autoimmune illness, and propensity to premature aging. 90% of chronic illness is dysbiosis, which means dysfunctional biodiversity of genetic information in our body.
Diabetes, heart disease, stroke, cancer, hypertension, premature aging. Scared yet? 90%, according to Chopra, 90% of all chronic illnesses are dysbiosis. This kind of claim is what's known as an appeal to fear fallacy. Deepak uses a lot of words really quickly to build fear and anxiety, and he doesn't realize that people can just go to Google and debunk his theories. So here's what I found. It's a peer-reviewed randomized study that clearly concludes that dysbiosis does not have a significant impact on chronic illnesses and longevity in humans.
Even now, young people who are getting sick, they have what are called acute inflammatory storms in the body. So inflammation goes out of control in the body because they are panicking. They're panicking, they're stressed, they're agitated, they're worried about money, they're worried about their jobs. The death and morbidity, and we have published on this, I'm happy to send you papers, the mortality and morbidity of this virus is directly linked to stress, panic, sympathetic overdrive, and agitated minds. And that's why we need more than just a simple, simplistic vaccine solution, because if we have a vaccine, a year from now, there'll be another mutation. The vaccine doesn't do anything. It doesn't look at the problem.
Wow. So let me try and deconstruct this nonsensical argument. There are trillions of bacteria and viruses in the human body that are beneficial to us. And according to Chopra, we shouldn't kill them. We should maintain their diversity. Babies, when they're born through C-section, develop diseases because they're not exposed to the vaginal fluids at birth. And so we should practice vaginal seeding because 90% of all chronic illnesses are dysbiosis related. These babies, when they grow up, they develop acute inflammatory storms because they're panicking and stressing, which are related to COVID-19 morbidity and deaths. And so the vaccine doesn't work, or the vaccine doesn't look at the problem. This is the whole argument. Now, disregarding the logical fallacies in this argument must be humanly impossible. Yet we see 57,000 people like this video on YouTube. Now, even if half of those people believed that the vaccination didn't do the job, you can imagine the real repercussions for us.
I think it's obvious now with this that, ecology is the main issue of our times. The air is our breath. The oceans and waters and the rivers are our circulation. The earth is recycling as our body. Even the atoms in our body were forged in the crucible of stars. So, you have a personal body, you have an extended body, they're both yours. The planet is your body. It's recycling as the ecology and the genetic information and the micro diversity of these organisms. And we're not looking at that. We're looking only at vaccine?
The air is our breath. This is a classic case of a vacuous truth fallacy. It's an unrelated claim that might be technically true, but in this context it makes no sense. So here are my final words on this. Exploiters like Jaggi Vasudev and Deepak Chopra rely heavily on our ignorance, our guilt, our fears, and our blind faith to run very real businesses. Their approach might be different. They have different motives sometimes. Their audience can be different as well. But the mechanisms they use are so common and so obvious. For example, you'll often see the title of their videos make massive claims. And within the video, they always offer an intriguing perspective on something. They play really somber background music. They will speak with supreme confidence. They'll always introduce a problem, to which then they graciously provide a pseudo-moralistic or a pseudo-scientific solution, which is full of logical fallacies and completely unevidenced. And you'll notice they'll always finish off a sermon or even a YouTube video with piety, with a sense of service to the world, or some big pseudo-philosophical idea. They do this to get the cheers, of course, but it's also to remind you that they're saints. They're above us in some way. And they want us to continue to follow them and continue to drive this perpetual machine of lies and deceit. So the next time someone shares a video on the family group or shares this kind of nonsense on social media, get skeptical, get critical, get angry, because the more uncomfortable questions you ask, the more we progress together. Cheers.